What's good? Welcome to the First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. First String Podcast, like I said, we're presented by Bet Rivers. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube. You can now follow us on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find your podcast, we are there. So today we're going to get into a couple of different topics, right? We're going to get into the NBA Finals. We're going to get into who can win Game 5. Jack Del Rios finds Commanders undrafted pick, undrafted middle linebacker, and we'll talk about him. But, I got to do something. I got to bring in my squad. So let's start off with Blink. What's good, man?
What's good? In the building.
You know how we do. We get right into it, right? Let's say what's up to everybody in the building. We got Bruce Glass, who showed up first. Bruce Glass beat you the last 2 days, Kyle. We got Kyle in the building. He always make his presence known with one simple comment: 28-3. And Kyle, you know what's going on, man. And we got our guy Armand Brown in the building. What's good, Armand, man? Thank you for jumping in with us. We appreciate it. And y'all know we're going to be joined by Paulie here in a little bit. He's out celebrating something really special. And if he decides to share it, he can share it. Yeah, Jack Del Rio, fine. Yes. Like the show is always remembers, as Kyle says, like the show, always remember, 28-3. and there you go right there. Hey, so we had let's do a little recap first. All right, on our last show we had Smoking Joe.
Yes, sir.
And Smoking Joe gave us our winners for the Belmont that was running New York, and he's up in New York right now. And he told you guys to watch the lines because the lines may change. Well, the lines did change, and it turns out the favorite, which was a 5-2 favorite, Mo Donegal, won first place in that. But he also told you to watch a horse, the number 3 horse, which was Ness. Ness finished second in that right there. And the one that he was always talking about was We the People. We the People had the lead for the race all the way to the last turn. And that's when Mo Donegal made its move and just blitzed up that side. And Ness, which was running about 3rd or 4th at the time, just came right on the outside and got on in there. But here's the significant thing. If y'all notice, when we showed you those horses were owned by the same owner. They wore the same colors, right? Just different numbers. So this owner had a very good day. Hey, Chuba's in the house. What's up, man? So they finished this one owner finished first and second in it. And then a horse that I had, you and I both, Skippy finished 3rd. That's the horse that we wanted. So so we had a 2nd and 3rd. We had the show and the place that they came through. We the people who we wanted to finish first actually faded down the stretch, but he finished up 4th. So thank you again, Smoking Joe, and we'll have him back on the podcast here. He's a Commanders fan as well, so. We appreciate that. We appreciate him for coming on. Hawk TV made it in the building. What's good, Hawk? And we appreciate each and every one of y'all. I was trying to wait for our guy Paulie, but Paulie's out celebrating something today. And yes, Hawk, you are exactly right. We're going to the NBA Finals, and somebody on this show almost nailed it when we hit the over under. Hey, somebody almost nailed it. Again said, what did you say?
I said they needed 45 from Steph.
You needed how many?
45.
Hey, Bruce just got it. Bruce, hey, Steph dropped 43 on him. 43. Listen, we went through the over-unders, man. We went through the over-unders for you. And we said, what was Steph? Steph was 29.5, right?
Yep.
It was 29.5. And you said, take the over. Steph about to give him 45. Mm-hmm. You said, that's what you said.
Sure did.
And did he almost pull it off? You almost hit that number.
Exactly. I was in there. Come on, Steph. Put up one more shot, please. Please, Steph. Please. One more shot, Steph. He passed it. And then at the very end, he held the ball. Steve, Come on, Steph, shoot the ball, man.
Shoot the
Make me
ball.
look good. Make me look good.
Hey,
Oh,
he still dropped 43. He dropped 43,
yeah,
bro. You can't get no closer. I mean, this is a game of horseshoes, right?
hey,
Oh,
hey,
oh
read that.
yeah,
Read that.
yeah. And with this one right here, Wiggins
That
had
right
a
there.
good game. Wiggins had a good game. He sure did. Wiggins had a good game. If Cal, oh, Amon, hey, if Cal plays half as well as he did in the game in the playoffs, Golden State in 7. Golden State in 7. You on record now. You on record. You can't go back and switch it. You on record saying if Clay, I'm sorry, if Clay, I said Cal. If Clay plays as good as he did, and he dropped 18, we know he could possibly go off. He should be in the 20s, really. He should have had like 24, 25.
Right.
But we'll take the 18 because he's still coming out of that funk that he's been in because he hasn't been himself. But Steph needs some more help, wouldn't you say?
And Draymond ain't nothing personal, but what Curry did in the fourth quarter, put him on the bench, dude. The Celtics out there begging him to shoot the ball. Did you see it?
Yeah.
They throw the ball and everybody didn't nobody move. They double Steph. They put 2 people at the rim, shoot it. You got the bench standing up, shoot it, and he passed the ball.
Hey,
dog, that's a liability, dog. He got.
He's in his own head.
Exactly.
He's in his own head.
Exactly. He is his head.
It's no way. It's no way that he should have 2 points. Remember, exactly. I said the under. I said go with the under.
Yeah,
go with his under.
You did.
Go with his under. And
I didn't realize how bad it was, man. Because I picked him to go. I said, man, he should get 8.5. I didn't realize how bad he was, man. He almost like. Dare I go back to Philadelphia?
Oh Lord.
he almost there. But real talk, no, all jokes aside, it got to the point where he would lead the break, pass the ball, and they would just leave him standing there. Unless he was driving to the rim, nobody came to him. Mm-hmm. And they passed the ball to him, no matter where they passed the ball to him outside of the painted area. They left him alone. Let him shoot it. Let him shoot it. He shot a couple times, down, and then I don't know what Steve Kerr saw for him to put and say, you know what, I don't know if he pulled himself or Steve Kerr pulled him, but they had to take him out, and you saw the flow change because now they can't sit back and stay there because them boys kept moving. They kept moving.
Your mic is feeding horribly. You're making some great points, but your mic is just. It's coming through just broken. Okay, go ahead. Let me see what you got.
I mean, it's like I say. I mean, he was out there. It got to the point where, like I said, he bring the ball up, and unless he was going to the paint area, they were leading him. They didn't shoot the ball.
Hold on, Blake. Blake, fix your audio for me real fast.
Hold on, let me.
I'm gonna take y'all for a second. All right, I'm gonna take Blink out for a second while he fixes his audio. But his point being made is Draymond Green was being left open to do what he wanted because now you see the Boston Celtics just don't have any belief that Draymond Green is that dude that can beat him right now. Hey, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Once you got that fixed, Blink, I see you. All right, and here's Cal says bet of the day for Monday is Klay Thompson's 3.5 3-pointers made. Take the over. Hey, I actually like that. That's why I left that up there for a while so that everybody else can see that too. And we're gonna talk about some other prop bets that'll be going on with this as well. And Armand, I believe he's was talking about something earlier when he said, "Facts, bro. You telling the truth." Talking about when we was talking about that 76er that wouldn't shoot the ball during the season. You ready, Blink?
Yeah, it's not my mic, man.
It wasn't. Hey, it sounds better.
No, I watched it live. I went back and watched it live. It's not my mic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got to turn it down because now we got.
Yeah, I went back and watched it live, but yeah, it's not my mic. I don't know.
Maybe it was my headphones. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, Green is what he is.
Yeah, taking Green over.
Wiggins was the center lock in this game. Every time you just thought that Golden State was from the give up the lead. Here come a dunk. Here come a little hook. Here come an extra rebound. Here come a little shot from 2 feet away. And I was like, this dude got 16 points. Where? It just seemed like it was like out of nowhere. But every time you turn around, he was standing there with that little boom, little dip here, little dip here.
Yeah.
And they had to respect it after a while.
He went off. Hey, Jason Tatum, I told y'all that Brown is going to steal his MVP from Tatum. I told y'all this. I said Brown is going to steal his MVP from Tatum. Right now, the difference in these guys is only a couple points. And Brown has been the more consistent player for the Celtics, right? Mm-hmm. Tatum had a terrible game 1, but he bounced back with a good game 2. They lost game 2, right? Mm-hmm. Look at Jaylen Brown's game 3. Look at Tatum's game 3. They won game 3, right? And now Tatum has another good game, 23 points, and Brown has 21, and Brown's been doing all kinds of things. They've been trying to put all kinds of different people on him and everything like that. But they're resulting in losses. So I gotta say, it's going to be Brown for the MVP if they win this thing. Steph MVP, yeah, Kyle. We own it. I update it every time. Kyle says, Steph MVP minus at 110. I told you, get that early at the game before game 2. It changed. That's when it was plus money for that MVP.
Money, yeah.
It was plus money for that MVP for him. And now that MVP is, like you said, minus 110, right? And then Bruce is also saying Curry MVP, Warriors winning 7. And it's still, if you got that number after they lost game 1, it was plus money. After that, it's sitting right now. Hold on, let me find my mouse first. Let me get on this correct screen.
While you do that, he gonna jump in for a quick shower. Then he say he'll try to let us know. But anyway, all right. We was talking saying, but I think one of the problems with Tatum is the Golden State Warriors have made it a concerted effort to leave Wiggins on him, no matter what they do. I don't care what pick and roll they run. I don't care what twist they run. I don't care what dip and dodge they run. They are making a concerted effort to leave Wiggins on him. Wiggins is actually coming up and picking him up earlier on the court, so it can't be no early switch, because now they're forcing him to get a ball up to somebody else and then involve him in the offense instead of him bringing it up and ending up on Steph, yada, yada, yada. So, it's Boston's going to have to make another send the link. Boston is going to have to do another another adjustment so that they can do just that.
Okay. Hey, I'm with you on that as well. I believe that in order, like I said, for Golden State to win this thing, they have to play good defense. They are too good of a team to not play defense and keep that scoring down that Boston can do. They have been playing half-hearted defense and they get blowed out, right? There's no way that they should be shooting 40-something% in the finals. There's no way they should. Their defense is way too good. They play better team defense than anybody in the league, right? Phoenix may have played the best team defense when it comes to making people work hard and things like that. But
coming at you.
But them, Golden State, had to be the second best team. I got it. Had to be the second best team when it comes to total team defense. And they have some dogs on their team that make people work for shots and they lose it. So they got to
Golden State was in the top 5 for defense against 3-pointers.
Yep.
I mean, even though they had some games where people have put up numbers from 3-point land, they were in the top 5. I think it was like 3 or 4. I have to go back and look at it and see which one it was. I know it was top 5 for team defense. A guarding within guarding people at the 3-point line. So I mean, if Golden State is locked in. The problem for Boston is, can they shoot enough threes to stay in it? Or will they revert back and start switching and driving to the hole more? Which is what actually helped them more when they drove to the line to the hole more.
Right.
It's a few adjustments in this series that can go on either side on each team.
which leads me to my next question, really. And I want y'all thoughts in this too. I'm gonna give you some quick numbers, and y'all tell me who needs to do better in this series. Draymond Green 2 points, had 4 defensive rebounds, a total of 9 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive. Otto Porter Jr. got the start in this game here, and played a total of 15 minutes. He put in 2 points, right? 1 offensive rebound. I'm sorry, 1 defensive rebound. Well, you have Wiggins, who played 43 minutes, 17 points. Of course, most of his energy is expended guarding Jason Tatum. So
Mhm.
his offensive numbers are going to suffer a little bit. Then you had Curry, 43, and then you got Clay with 18. Off the bench, they had Poole, who had 14. Other than that, the other bench players, Looney, who's normally a starter, had 6 points, and Gary Payton Jr. had 5. Who needs to step up for Golden State in this in the next game, Game 5?
Well, I mean, actually, Peyton Jr. brought some good energy to the game when he came
Yeah,
in. He brought some
yeah,
real good energy to the game. Excuse me, when he came in.
right.
So it's between uh, Curry decided whether or not to start Draymond Green. That's the big one. That's the biggest one right there. Because that lineup that they had with uh, Kerr, uh, I'm sorry, I can't think of the boy name now off the bench.
Well, hey,
Anyway,
the other power forward, yeah, I
yeah
can't even say that name. Don't even get me
when
started on them.
when they had them in the game, it gave Boston some problem. You know,
Well,
Boston.
he played 9 minutes and got 0 points. He played 9 minutes,
Yeah,
got 0 points, but he bought some energy.
and he had a couple crucial rebounds as well. He had a couple crucial rebounds as well.
Well, I know Looney
Uh,
did. Looney had a total of 11 rebounds. He had 4 offensive, 7 defensive, right?
right,
And Looney's normally a starter, but it seems to me that they just went pretty not small but long is what I'm gonna say because
right.
Otto Porter Jr. is not a small guy, um, but they went with more length, and his offensive game just doesn't seem to be there for them right now.
Well, he's not really an offensive guy.
Well, yeah,
Looney's
yeah,
not.
he is. He can fill it up. He could average. I believe when he was with Washington, he was averaging about 15 to 20, somewhere around there. I sent the
Mm,
link already. Also, he's averaging somewhere between 15 and 20, and that's why he left and got some money. We was talking about offering him a max deal, but um, we all know he's coming off an injury too,
right.
so that could be part of the reason why he couldn't give you what he would normally give you, some double digits right there. So for them, I mean Looney has 6 points. They got to get something in their front court.
What did Clay end up with?
Clay ended up with 18, but their backcourt is not the problem because they got shooters coming in off the bench. They got Claypool,
Right.
Jordan Poole. I'm sorry, they got Jordan Poole,
That's what I was thinking about earlier.
and they got
That's it,
Gary
man.
Payton Jr. They got Gary Payton Jr. Gary Payton Jr. gave you 5 points, but he had a lot of good energy.
Yes.
Who Boston is making an effort to not let him be that microwave coming off the bench. So they're putting one of their better defensive players on him when he comes in, and that's what I see there. So they're trying to keep his points under 20. They don't want 20 points coming off the bench by one person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
got you.
so for them, it's gotta be Draymond. It's got to be Draymond, and you got to have Otto Porter Jr. give you more than 2 points. They can't give you two, but Otto Porter Jr. has got to give you 10 coming off the bench because they shortened their bench in this game. They
Yeah,
played a total of 9 players, a total of
they
nine
did.
players in this game, and it's probably going to go shorter than that as this series gets longer and longer, right?
Right.
Look at the times. Clay, 41 minutes. Curry, 41 minutes. Wiggins, 43 minutes. Draymond Green, 33 minutes. Those guys are getting tired.
Yeah.
They getting tired. All right. Hey, we are being joined now by one of our Paulie's favorite antagonists. Uh he's not a hero and he doesn't play one at the post office. He's what you would call an anti-hero, right? We're gonna bring in Aunt Mo.
That's called the antagonist.
Right.
And I don't play one at the post office, but I do play one on TV.
You do play one on TV.
Yeah,
You
man.
do.
I've ran into so many technical difficulties, fellas, but I am here now. Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Hey
that's
man,
cool. That's cool. We
it's
understand.
good to have you on here and hear your thoughts on these NBA finals real fast.
Okay, well, what do you want to know? Give me something specific.
Well, we was talking about
Hold on, let's get
West.
them on the record first. Who you think's gonna win this thing?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So
oh.
this is tough, and let me first say this: I thought y'all was really bringing me on here so y'all can rag me about the Mavericks in the Warriors series. That's the first thing. But no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You understand me? including you two. So,
Oh, okay.
but no. So let me say this: Game 5 is clearly going to be pivotal. Everybody says that. I was very, I was very hopeful that Boston would take the game last night, but the Warriors did what the Warriors do. They've actually surprised me because I did not expect for them to fight back the way they have, and that's with Draymond Green not having the best series that he's ever had.
Right.
With that being said, I believe that this series is going 7, and I believe that Boston will still pull it out.
Boston
I
is
believe
7.
it's going 7, and Boston is
Bruce,
going
you
to pull
heard
it
it.
out.
Bruce, you heard it. Cal, you heard it. All of y'all heard it. It's on the record, stamped. I'm gonna timestamp this later. I'm definitely gonna timestamp this later. Hey, so I was just saying to say it. So who has to step up? Both teams have shortened their benches. The Warriors have gone down to nine players, and Boston's actually gone down to 8 players. They shortened their bench way quicker than Golden State has, and the starters are starting to be up in the higher 40s, the high 30s with their numbers. Who do y'all have? Who do you have? That needs to step up.
I think if we're being honest here, guys, I think stars got to be stars. I believe that this is just what you see in the playoffs. 15-man rotations go down to 10, go down to 7, 6 sometimes. Like, that's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
I think Jaylen Brown is going to continue to be a wild card. He's going to have to be consistent. Like, I was looking at the game late, and he throws up a 3 and it air balls, and I'm like, that's just the type of stuff that you cannot get, that you can't accept from the number 2 guy if that's who you're expecting for him to be. Tatum's going to be Tatum. Steph is going to be Steph. Clay is going to give you Clay pockets. He's not who he was, but he's still when he gets in those good streaks, he's going to be the guy that he has been in his career for short spurts. But for Boston, Jalen's got to be way more consistent. Horford's been great. It just is what it is. The stars have got to be stars, in my opinion.
All right. Well, with that being said, it's time to go to a little something that we call let me get this right. Boom.
Who you got?
Time for us to go to a little who you got, right? So I got to share this screen with you guys so we can bring it up. Let me get it together real fast. Okay, so all lines are brought to you by Bet Rivers. Make sure you download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. So let's pick this game right here. We got the Boston Celtics plus 3.5 with a win line of plus 135. The over under set at 212 and a half. 212 and a half. That's a Golden State line, really. All right, and then we're gonna go to the Golden State line.
Yeah.
Golden State is minus 3.5, minus 162 with an over under again set at 212 and a half. Over under set at 212 and a half. So I need to know who you got.
That's a
You
4-point swing.
What do you mean?
Game.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Game.
Let it finish. Right
No. I'm taking it in. I'm like, Game 5. This is in Golden State, right?
Right.
In Golden State. That's right.
Both teams have won on the other's home court.
Roger.
I honestly believe Boston's going to take Game 5. I think it's the way that the series has gone. It's been, there's been no consistency. It's been a tit for tat. And the surprising thing, if y'all been paying attention, which I know y'all have, this is one of the best finals Steph has had. Steph has never played at this caliber in his
Mm-mm.
career, and it's the reason why he's never won an MVP. So
Yep.
if they win, he's definitely gonna get this one. But I'm not so sure if Draymond bounces back. I know I'm going on here, but I'm not sure Draymond bounces back. And I think that what's the defensive MVP?
Smart.
For Boston, Smart is playing phenomenal. I gotta take Boston. I gotta take Boston money line. I think they cover all that good stuff.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a nugget here in a minute. Oh man, I'm gonna give you a nugget in a minute. I'm gonna give you a nugget. Say it. Who
Okay,
you got, man?
no. What I was saying is I shouldn't have said it, but I was thinking it. You know, the last game was +4 Boston. I mean +4 for Golden State. Mm-hmm. Now it's minus. That's I would say it's a 7. So that's a 7-point swing. Basically, it's a 7-point swing from one side to the other. Because now that they're all of a sudden now they won one game. All of a sudden now they're the favorites. They haven't been the favorites. I really do think this is going to be the hardest game Boston has to win. Mm-hmm. The absolute hardest game. Why? Steph is being Steph. It is.
Yeah.
Draymond Green is in his head. He may be done for. Come in and do some rebounds. That's about it.
Hey,
now
let me get a little something. First off, I gotta shout out this dude that's in here right now. This guy right here, we go by. He goes by the name of Smoker Joker when we on Call of Duty. That's our guy Vet.
Who was a Vet?
All his call signs. That's my guy's in the house. He's making his presence known. I appreciate you, fam, for coming through. Right, but here's my nugget. Right, and if you've been paying attention, and Bruce, I know Bruce has been paying attention too. When the Warriors win, it's a under. When the Warriors win, it's under because they play defense. The Warriors, I said it earlier, the Warriors play really good team defense. When they're not playing defense, Boston wins. Boston shoots 43% because they're not playing good defense, and it's an over game. This line is set at 212.5. It's sort of riding it right in there, right? Mm-hmm. But Boston's going to come out. Boston's going to take this game. I'm going with Boston again. I'm going with the over. Boston, and give me the over. Linda's in the house. Hold on, I got to see what Bruce is yelling up. Bruce says, I don't think either team has lost back-to-back games this playoff series, which is true, Bruce. That this series right here has been really good. It's gone back and forth the whole way. Boston stole game 1. Golden State defended the quarter on game 2. Boston only needed to get 1. Then Boston goes home. Boston gets game 3, and the Warriors still won out there to make it back even in their favor now. So now we're going back out to the West Coast. Boston has to go in there, handle their business so they can go back home because it's 1-1-1 all the way to the rest of the
See, that's what I was saying. This is going to be the hardest game Boston is going to have to play to win. The thing for Golden State is who is going to step up to help Clay and Steph. I'm going to Golden State at home.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the over.
That's not a bad. That's
you
not
going to Golden State and the over?
I'm taking the over.
Because I gave you the nugget. What you do with it is what you do with it.
Wiggins has been consistent. Clay is up and down. Steph has been consistent. They need one more person to come in and do what they're supposed to do. If they do what they're supposed to do, Golden State wins this game.
So I'll say this: it's the sports booking agencies. They're trying to get you. They're trying to bait you in.
They supposed to. That's their job.
And if you're paying attention, you're like, come on, I can't take that. You know what I'm saying?
That's their job.
But at the same time, I think you're being a little too generous. I've been saying this and I'll stand by it. The Mavericks just weren't the team to expose certain things about the Warriors. They are not who they were, right? But think about this. How Steph has been Stephing, and Clay still been contributing, and Wiggins has been consistent, and Looney has actually done a little bit better than what I thought he would, even building off of the Maverick series, and they're still barely getting out of these games alive. I'm telling you, Boston, they the thing that is taking them to the next level is they've been able to elevate themselves when the pressure gets high, and going into like putting away Brooklyn. going into Golden State and getting a win where nobody's got to win.
Mm-hmm.
The only losses that they've suffered are at the hands of Boston. I'm telling you, Boston is gonna step up big, man. Their defense, smart. Everybody's playing together. Horford's playing out of his mind. The role guys that are coming in are making big shots. I'm telling you, man.
Whoa, Al Horford's got to do better than what he did in the last game. He in the last game he only gave us 8 points. Al Horford's supposed to be in double figures. That's who I think needs to step up for Boston. He's supposed to be in double figures. That guy's supposed to live in double figures. He's giving you big rebounds, six defensive rebounds. He's giving you those, but he does need to step up for them. All right, so we covered the NBA. We covered that for about a good 30 minutes. All right, so can we move on a little bit? We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on just a bit. Now it's time to get to our favorite talk. Right, we're gonna get to a little Commanders talk. All right, so. Everybody knows because this guy's made national news. Our defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, Jack open mouth insert foot.
Jack and 100 stacks.
Jack and 100 stacks. The team fined Jack 100 stacks yesterday, which they are donating to charity for for the folks that the Capitol Police, those family members and people like that, right? So it's going to a positive thing for his negative comments. My question to y'all is that enough? Or is it too much? Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think as well. Is 100 stacks too much? Is it enough? Is it enough to make him think about what he does?
You would have to pardon me in my commander knowledge. What did he say?
Let's see. Jack Del Rio said I didn't want to get into it, but Jack Del Rio basically said that the protests over Black Lives Matter, they were destroying people's business and things like that. And
he spoke. He didn't speak. He spoke. Basically, he didn't speak too kindly of.
No. He compared Black Lives Matter to where they were hurting things. Those protests, they were hurting things to the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. And the insurrection was just a dust up. Nothing. Nobody was hurt. Hey, nothing to see here. Right? They didn't try to overthrow the Constitution. Bruce says they should have fined them more. Right? At this point in time, we're talking about. I'm not getting into the politics. I just want to know: was it enough? Is it not enough? What do y'all think? That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
So yeah, he called the insurrection a dust up, and said that Black Lives Matter things should have happened a little bit differently. So I just wanted to know what y'all thought there.
I personally think it wasn't enough. Because if you saw the way they treated the Black Lives Matter people when they went to march in DC compared to what they showed when these guys, penetrated
the Capitol.
The Capitol. It's completely different. Yeah, I mean, it's like he has blinders on.
Yeah. Well, we had our guest Smoking Joe McKay was on here. He shared something about some of the Capitol Police officers that were hit with pipes and things like that. Some of the ones that testified, they called them heroes for speaking out about what happened. These are Capitol Police officers, right? They are feds, pretty much. They are the feds.
Yeah.
And I mean, you saw these guys. The one guy, he led them away from where the people were, and he just kept running. He would tell them stop, and they would keep advancing. But what he was doing was actually leading them away from where the senators, congressmen, all of them were.
Yeah,
did a great job.
So I'll say it's definitely not enough. I think that's incredibly ignorant speaking, and I believe they should have taken it a step further, and he should have probably got suspended maybe a game or two. I think when we talk about these types of things, we have to really be careful with how we use our platforms. And I think although both things are definitely not good, to downplay the one where the people who look like you is minimized, and the one where an recurring issue is happening with black and brown people, and you speak of it in the way you do, I think it's ignorance, and I think that's definitely not enough.
All right. Okay. Let's move on from Jack. All right. So now let's talk Commanders undrafted free agent middle linebacker Trey Walker. All right. So shout out to Adam from Burgundy and Gold Report. If you guys have not subscribed to Burgundy and Gold Report, please do so, man. It's free. It's some good knowledge there. This guy does an excellent job. Adam, we've had him on the show before. You guys loved him. He's talking about Trey Walker, the middle linebacker. So Trey Walker, let me just give you this, and this is going to set Blink off. Trey Walker, 6'4", 240, linebacker out of Idaho.
6 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 feet. 6 feet.
Oh, trust me, I already know that part by heart.
Linebacker out of Idaho. Career stats, here we go. Career games, 38, a total of 338 tackles. 226 of those are solo. 21 and a half tackles for loss. 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 4 pass defenses. Here's his best season. 2001, 12 games, 105 tackles, 43 solo, 3 tackles for loss. I think that's just his career. And then 3 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass defenses. I'm gonna give you some pros and cons. I want you guys to go to the Burgundy, the BNG report, Burgundy report, burgundyandgoldreport.com. The burgundyandgoldreport.com. Here's his pros. Excellent in run support. Shows no hesitation when shooting his gaps, right? A violent hitter. Plays under control and textbook tackler, right? Is this starting to sound a little bit like London Fletcher to y'all? Is this? I mean, because to me, as soon as I said this to Paulie jumped on me. He was like, "That's London Fletcher," right? It's like, that's London Fletcher. All right. More serviceable in zone as a roamer. And has room to grow. Has room to grow. Displays the ability to diagnose runs and pass effectively. Some of his cons: limited change of directions, ability and coverage. Lacks the overall length of explosion and attempts to shed blockers. Looks stiff in his back pedal and needs refinement. All right, so that's just a little bit of it. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. Blink, you read up on him. What do you think?
I can't bash the kid, because he can only do what he can do in his position.
Right.
This goes back to the draft. Just like Atlanta, Washington had a chance to take a linebacker. 5'11", tackling machine. Graduated in 3 years, mechanical engineering, plays a run and plays a pass. And you go in and sign an undrafted free agent to do the same thing. When you got a guy that you have 2-3 years of tape on against SEC competition. Again, the guy can only play against who he play against. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But hold on, one more thing. And when you read what they put on here, it's like, okay, make sure you can stop the run. Most linebackers are designed to stop the run.
Yeah.
First, pretty much they all are. But This is the NFL. These linebackers have to also be able to cover running back coming out of the backfield every now and then a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They scouted themselves and said, hey, he a little tight in the hips, and he struggled man to man. I'm looking for him on the field. If I'm on the offense, I'm looking for him on the field.
You know what that sounds like?
I'm listening.
Jalen Smith.
Boom.
And listening, because when you said 105 tackles, 41 solo, that doesn't sound as impressive to me. Because then I think about how many of those tackles were you just coming along to help, which isn't a bad thing.
But that's in 12 games. Project that out to 18 games. That's almost in 18 games. If this dude is averaging 10 tackles, that's 180 tackles a year.
maybe.
Right? Come on. I mean, that's
And I
tackling
say
machine
maybe.
here.
I say maybe because if he's on, what is he on? What is he mainly on the field on?
First and second
First
down.
down, second down, and maybe third if it's short.
Right?
Maybe. I don't know how much you can. I don't know how much you could put in that because I would go back to London Fletcher. Now I know he was a bad boy,
Oh yeah.
but how was he in coverage?
London was a 3-down linebacker. London was a 3-down linebacker. He started off in the league special teams. And for me, if Trey Walker's to make this team, right, he's going to start off on special teams. And then he's going to get better, that good coaching throughout the year, right? And we're just bringing you these undrafted free agents so that everybody knows who to watch and who they're looking at when preseason starts, right? And Adam does a
Right.
great job of telling us who these guys are that are on the team and where they could possibly make their dough at. This guy, if he makes this squad, he's making it on special teams first. He's running down, making tackles on special teams so he can get more time on the field. But London Fletcher is the way this kid plays. I mean, he run. Oh, you guys take up the gaps that you're supposed to, and watch me make the tackle on this guy 1-on-1 in this hole. He don't. If you go back and you watch this, if you go to the Burgundy and Gold report and y'all read this article, also in there is his YouTube highlights, right? And you see this guy, and what is it? The read option, right? He ain't falling for what he ain't supposed. He knows his responsibilities. My responsibility is that quarterback. When that quarterback keep that ball, watch me go kill that quarterback, right? And if his responsibility is the running back and he hands it off, he's killing that running back. He's filling those gaps on the inside and letting those guys on the outside do their job. You also see one of the highlights when the quarterback has a boot, right? He has a boot, and then you see the running back leak out from behind, and as soon as he turn and catch the ball, he is flattened like a pancake, right? So that's him in pass coverage. But, small school kid, 105 tackles. He even in college, he did it. He first got noticed on special teams, and then his sophomore season, he was the full-time starter at middle linebacker, where he began to stack his resume. Goes back into what we've been looking at, too, as far as older players being drafted by the Commanders for this year, because it's go time year, and that's why he's going to have to make it on special teams.
So, question: when you said you were giving an example of an option, you're talking about like a little toss out, or we talking because I guess my question is, are we talking about the NFL once again?
Right.
My only concern, and as fans, is we can be a little. We got to pump the brakes when we start comparing guys to like all timers.
Yeah.
Because it's the excitement. I get it. Me seeing Jalen highlight films. Of course, it was pre knee injury and things of that nature. It's something to get excited about when you see a kid who works hard and hey, starting on special teams just the same. I'm like, don't put the cart before the horse. Like, let's really see how well he does on special teams, mainly because that's gonna tell us a lot. Because coming downhill and being able to shoot gaps and things on kickoffs and stuff is still a big deal in today's NFL. So, I would just like to see the kid get a couple games under his belt and then see if it matches up with the film. So
exactly.
I can agree with that. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I'm not bashing the kid. I'm not. Only thing I compared him to was another linebacker. Similar attributes, similar size. One just has different accolades than the other. That's all I'm doing. I mean, he could turn out to be a monster,
right?
But you can see the tape because they played every day on live. They played almost on every day on live TV, every Sunday on live TV. So you can see what one did. The other one, you're gonna have to go out there, find the tape, and see if he did what he did. What would the offensive line look like? What were they running? Did he do X, Y, Z? Not bashing the guy. Like I said, the guy, he could turn and be Lawrence Taylor falling off. All I'm saying is like it racks my brain that two teams that needed middle linebackers a middle linebacker fall in your lap. You're like, never mind.
Hey, but
That's
with
basically what
that
they
being
did.
said, I'm gonna tell you what Paulie gonna say because we had this conversation, right? Um, N'Kobe Dean fell where he fell because nobody had the books on his injury. We
Yep.
all know that was a first round linebacker, and I hate the fact that Philly got him in the third or fourth,
Third.
third
Third,
round,
yeah, I was gonna say third.
third round. That is a steal, and that dude will be getting a contract way before the end. Before that's due, and I can't wait for the bill to come due because
They can't pay y'all
it's
over.
going to be between him, Jordan Davis, Smith. I can't wait for the bill to come due. Please let the bill come due next year because man, they building a monster. Man, I can't stand Philly. Oh man,
And and that also, some of these guys, they take that next step, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a scout talent evaluator. When some of these guys get to the next level and make that huge leap, I just didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
so he as well as a lot of these other guys have the potential to do that. And you look at a Kobe Dean or anybody like that, guys like that happens. You have those guys who are supreme talents and they fall for whatever the reason, and then they light the league on fire because they got the biggest chip on their shoulder. So it'll be good to see if nothing else. So
Yeah.
Most definitely, I can't wait. I can't wait. I wish Trey Walker the best. Hope that injury and everything stays away from him, and that he carves himself out a spot in the NFL. Hopefully, with the Commanders, where he can have a nice long career. Hey, you ready to do some? Y'all ready to do some over unders? Let's see what we can. Let's see what we can get ourselves into. Let's see what kind of trouble we get ourselves into. All right, let's go to points. All right, Jaylen Brown's first up. Jaylen Brown's 23 and a half. Make sure y'all let me know in the comments too if y'all like the over, if you like the under. Jaylen Brown is 23 and a half. So his over is minus 120. His under is minus 107. Y'all like Jaylen Brown for the over or the under?
Minus 107? Oh, give me the under, player.
You want the under.
I'm going
I got you, Bruce. I see you, Bruce.
yeah, I was gonna say under.
We'll get to that. I promise you we will. So stay with me, Bruce. I got you. All right. So you like the under? Both of y'all like the under.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, say, can you do me a favor? Get ready to share that screen with that Bet Rivers. For the go to the NHL.
Yeah.
I actually got it up. Never mind. I got it up.
Oh, you still got it? Okay.
I got it up. Yeah. I'm just got to get out of basketball and now share it. Now put it up so we can get that in. And Bruce said he likes the under. I like the over, even though it's minus 120. It's Jaylen Brown, and I got to ride with Jaylen Brown for the MVP if Boston wins this thing, because I'm out on Clay. Clay is the MVP. I'm out on it, and we're gonna get to the MVP numbers here in a minute. Steph Curry, 31 and a half. Steph Curry, 31 and a half. Both of them are the same over and under. They're minus 113, 31 and a half.
I'll tell you though, 45. He gonna have to average between 40 and 45. For them to win, he gonna have to carry them 40 to 45.
So over. You like the over? You like the over? And
Sid been drinking. He started drinking when he got in the truck. As soon as he got out, was you in the G-Wagon? Was you in the Benz?
You know what? You know I picked 45 last week, right? I mean the other game.
Yeah,
you know what he scored, right?
Yeah,
you know what he scored?
43.
43.
At least wait till you get on a residential street. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under.
The under on
Steph?
On Steph.
I am.
If I got a question for you. If Steph don't go over 30, where's the offense coming from?
I think we've seen pockets where they if he's not on, there's not much. And I think that's something that has been consistent.
So you did say you like Boston for game 5, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did. But
okay, I see your logic now.
You see, that's also still built up based off of what I've seen. Like I said, going back to Memphis, going back to the Mavericks, I've seen that where if he's just not having it, there's not much offense anyway. So
okay. I got you. I feel what you're saying. Bruce said Brown's got to have an off game. not to win the MVP. Brown does not have to have an off game to win the MVP. And Curry and Brown can't afford to have an off game to win the MVP.
You said
Or
Curry
for
was
Boston to win.
it was 31 for Curry, right? 31.
It was 31 and a half for Curry.
Okay.
And Bruce also agrees with you. He says Steph's going for 40 again. He says Curry going for 40 again. All right. Draymond Green. Here's a good one. All right. Draymond Green over 6.5 points minus
Oh
130.
my goodness. It went from 8 to 6.
Minus 130.
The great triple
The
single.
last game was 8. It was 8 the last game.
Here's the under. The under is still 6.5 plus 102. It's plus money for the under. It's plus money for the under on Draymond. Which way y'all going? Tell me what y'all like, man. Over or under on Green? Bruce is jumped in immediately. He said, "Give me the over."
I'm taking an over. But I tell you this: when he does this little thing right there, it pisses me off so bad. Oh, it gets under my skin.
Hey,
I hate to see him flex.
It's a family show. I know you married, but don't be putting your guns up. Don't nobody want to see
my
that around these parts. It's a family show, man. We ain't doing that over here. We ain't doing that.
Hey,
don't you ever do that again. I will be forced to remove you from this screen.
You want to remove me anyway. hey, no, but I'll take the over on him. I'll take the over.
You can take the over. Say it what you like.
Yeah. Over, man. I'm eating them words right there. Over, man. 6.5. It was just 8. It was 8 in the last game. Wow.
But listen, Draymond just said that his game before this one was the S word, right? He said that with his child sitting right there. I played like S, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And he followed that up with a 2-point game. I'm with you. No, Bruce, you said the over. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on Draymond. It's in his head.
Can I say this too? I hate the fact that after they lost that last game, the game before, he just tried to chalk it up to I played soft. Can we be honest and say that there's a lot more skill and talent that goes into putting the ball in the hoop in today's NBA or at any time than just if you're tough or not? I don't think it's a question that he's a tough individual and that he's an emotional leader. But this is the best of the best of the best, Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
You got to learn how to put the ball in the hole and you got to make free throws. I'm sorry. You got to develop something in your game. Being a try-hard is not enough, and just saying you are soft. I hate that terminology.
Well, Bruce said Green being benched was a wake-up call for him. I'm going to agree with you and sort of disagree with you in a second, Bruce. Bruce, we got to get you on the podcast too, but give me a chance to explain myself. It happened during the game that he got benched, right? It happened during the game. You're playing like S, sit down. And he went back in the game and still only gave you 2 points for the whole game. So I don't think it's just a wake-up call for him. I think it's the Warriors for the first time are starting to look old. The Warriors for the first time are starting to look like an old team. And I think that's more of what it is to me. And that's why I do like Boston, because they've been doing this for 10 years now, right?
Yep. And Father Time is undefeated, bro.
Undefeated. And they starting to look old to me, and they're young blood. Just like Paulie said, this is Steph's last hurrah as the unquestioned leader of the Warriors. He said that, right, Blink? He said that this is Steph's last hurrah as the unquestioned leader of the Warriors.
Question though.
He said, you hush.
You know what this series has taught me though, is that Steph is unquestionably the greatest shooter we have ever seen to pick up a basketball.
I agree.
But
applause.
But that is not enough to be deemed a leader. Number one, because I would say that Draymond is the greatest leader they've ever had. They have, if you look at their runs outside of KD coming and just making it completely unfair, they've kind of went as he kind of led, not as Steph has scored, being he was never even an MVP in any of the finals that they won.
Right.
So I don't know if Steph being the greatest shooter translates to him having this legacy of being such a great winner or leader. That's what I've been kind of looking at in him doing what he does.
Vet,
That's
I can
just
hear
me.
you. I
Well,
can hear Vet. I can hear Vet's voice right now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it.
you can also say, I mean, it was similar to Ray Allen. Ray Allen was one of the best shooters ever, but he was never a real leader. He would come up, he
Yeah.
would put that ball in, but he was, I mean, he wasn't a leader, especially in his last few years. His last few years was, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Y'all gonna have to help me out, and I'm gonna shoot it, or we're gonna let it go.
All right. So
And Ray
now,
had eight. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
no.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was
Finish
gonna
up.
say, and Ray at more of the peak of his athletic prowess was kind of at a different level of talent when we talk about being tall, being able to he had crazy hops. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
just shooting in his arsenal. He had a better all around game. Maybe not much
But
of
y'all,
a handle as Steph, not much of a as handle as Steph,
but y'all
but
acting like Steph only dropped 43 with all 3 pointers. He had 20. He had 20 plus 21 on threes, and the other 22 points came as shots, dribble drives, layups. So half of his points was inside the paint, the other half was outside the paint. And Vet, let me get to you. Right here, it says Phoenix looks old, and we have people who aren't even on the court telling players what they're going to do tomorrow. Okay, so I'm look, I'm not playing an NBA player on a podcast, and I've never been one, right? But what I'm saying is, when Clay and Steph was at their peaks, they was giving people the business. The Splash Brothers are not dead. That's not what we're saying. But we're
Yeah.
saying the Splash Brothers need some help. That's what we're saying because Draymond looks old for a big man right now. What he used to do, Draymond used to pop out and hit threes, and people would leave him alone, and then they would have to go back and be like, whoa, we got to get Draymond off that 3-point line. But right now, Boston's ignoring him. And I know this is your area, Vet. Don't get me wrong. I know you're a ball hawk and a ball junkie. I got it. But still, I'm just saying, totally all around, where's the youth in Golden State? Jordan Poole is their future. That's my point. Is Clay's not Clay right now? Is it because of the injury, or is it because he ain't got his win? What is it? That's all. That's what I'm saying. That's my point right there.
right.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and then what he said, if Kerry takes care of himself, he'll be right back in the finals. I'm with you on that. Where's the help though? Where is your big men? I like Kayvon Looney. I think Kayvon Looney is a beast. I like him. He was the difference in the Dallas series because they had no answer in the middle for Kayvon Looney. Jordan Poole, that's help. But then you got to start to look at the bench. Right now, you got Otto Porter Jr. on that bench. You got AI
He's
on that
old.
bench. He's old. AI is on that bench. I think he's going to probably retire after the season. And that's what I mean by they're looking old. What's on the bench to come back and get these guys to take away some of their minutes? And during the season, when they got to do, they shouldn't be doing 30 plus minutes in this during the season. That's my point of
And
because it's catching
and
up in the finals.
and if we're being honest, the Splash Brothers were always great, but it was still the Draymonds. It was still the who's the one guy that won
Iguodala.
MVP? That Iguodala. It was always those guys. Like
Yeah.
that's what put them over the top. Was always they have phenomenal role players from the front of the bench to the end of the bench. And Gary Payton the second and Poole and all these guys, Looney's,
Yes.
all those guys are cool, but you need guys who can do it consistently night in and night out, because I think those injuries also have caught up to Clay as well. I'm like, I think he's still a great player in spurts, but those injury Achilles, most guys just don't recover. Even with today's medicine and recovery, it just two knees, and Achilles, that stuff is going to take the toll on the best of men. So,
Right.
All right. Hey, we got to get to this. Thank you, Bruce. And it is now live. So let me share this screen real fast. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. One second. I'm going to share the screen. Let's get to this Rangers Lightning Game 7. Boom. Here we go. All right. So this is live bet right now. Once again, all lines are brought to you by Bet Rivers. So The New York Rangers are +1 with a puck line of +118, and they are playing in Tampa Bay with a win line of +210. The total goals is +4, and that's +100 as well for
It's
Tampa
tied
Bay.
3-3.
Yeah, no, it's 3-2. 3-2. Tampa Bay leading the series.
Okay.
And Tampa is -1 for -150 with a win line of -265, and the under for goes under 4 is -227. And this is game 6. I'm sorry, I did say game 7, didn't I? I did say game 7. It's game 6. Sorry. So who do you like here? Go ahead and tell me. And if y'all need those lines again, I'll give them to you. Let's start with you, Ant.
Tampa is a powerhouse.
Yeah,
And they've been consistent over the years. I can't bet against them. So I listen. My heart has been hurt since my Stars were ejected from this whole equation. So all I got for you is I'm taking Tampa.
Tampa. He's taking Tampa.
I'm taking
All right.
Tampa.
How you gonna take him though? You gonna take him on that puck line with a -1 that's -150, or on the win line -265?
Give me what do you call it? Is it the win line or the
win
win
line?
Yeah,
win
give me
line,
the win
money
line.
line.
Yep, give
All
me
right.
the money line.
All right. Say it.
Yeah, I'm like him. The Rangers have excuse me, have times where they come in and they do their thing. They have times where they don't. Tampa have been playing some good hockey, man. Give me Tampa money line.
Hey, Bruce. The best words in all of sports is Game 7. The best words in all of sports is Game 7, and right now Tampa's got a 3-2 lead. I'm going Rangers. I like that win line, so that's +210, and then I'm gonna go with the under as well. So they're in. Yeah, okay. I have the Rangers in the under tonight. He said he got the Rangers and the under. I like that. I think I just pretty much went with you, Bruce, on that right there. So I like to hear those words. Game 7. So Game 7 in Tampa is what I'm being told, right? Then Tampa wins Game 7 is what he's saying. So yeah, give me Tampa with that, Bruce. Thank you for getting us back to hockey. I appreciate it. I really do, man, for real. I mean, because when we was covering some hockey, boy, we was on it, and then the Caps got eliminated, and Toothpick stopped putting it on the agenda. I really did. Caps got eliminated. Caps got eliminated.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Hey, Washington, everything.
But New York is doing the cardiac kid thing. I mean, they're fighting tough, and I think it's interesting how in New York, when any New York teams are doing well, it's just good for the sport in general. Right. So it will be great for them to do what they're doing, but I think Tampa's gonna close that thing out.
Yeah, I could agree. Hey, thank you, Ant, for joining us today. Man, you made this thing really, really fun for us.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
He said Denver's getting plenty of rest out west. Oh yeah. Man, hey, I appreciate y'all watching and subscribing to the First String Podcast. We are now available on most of anywhere you can get a audio podcast, which this one will go up as soon as we're done, on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter anytime you want. We appreciate everything that y'all do, jumping in the chat, keeping us going, giving us all this energy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell a friend about First String Podcast. We appreciate y'all again. Thank you. We call it an OG Classic because we get in and we get out. Hit them with it. Say it. All right.